We begin here at 4, reflecting on the Palisades and Eaton fires. 1 year later today, we are remembering the 31 people who were killed last January. Thank you so much for being with us, everybody. I'm Michael Brownlee.
And I'm Colleen Williams. The hardest hit area was Altadena. 19 people died in the Eaton fire. Families there are still grieving, but they're also turning their pain into purpose. NBC4's Lolita Lopez live in Altadena with more on how loved ones are honoring their family members. Lolita.
Michael and Colleen, for those we talked to, it is a hard day to go back to. They lost their loved ones in the very resting places where their homes had been created, families nurtured there. But at the same time, they tell us that they're remembering their loved ones, inspired by them to continue to advocate for their community.
She was a God-fearing Christ person who would sing and talk about God.
Zaire Calvin's sister, Evelyn, never made it out of her home in Altadena.
That's where my sister and my sons stayed.
A property shared by Zaire and other family members. 5 homes gone. 19 lives were lost in his beloved community in the Eaton fire last January. For him, it's hard not to think
these people should be here.
Every day is a struggle for me.
Hajimi White speaks to us from her home in Arkansas. She lost her father, 69-year-old Anthony Mitchell Sr., an amputee who relied on his wheelchair, and her 36-year-old brother, Justin, who had cerebral palsy. They shared a home on West Terrace Street in Altadena. She shows us 2 stuffed animals, a dragon for Justin, a frog for her dad.
This is a frog with my dad's voice inside. My daughters them did this for me. And a heartbeat.
Just checking on you. Love you. Merry Christmas.
A voicemail from Christmas, weeks before he passed. It was the same voice that called 911 on January 8th, 2025, pleading for help.
Okay. So 2 people total?
Yes. And it's catching on fire now. I can see the flames. Hurry, please.
I feel they was ignored. My dad and my brother, they was failed. The system failed them.
Hajimi and Zaire tell us they want accountability for how the fire started and how agencies responded, with the hope of preventing delayed notifications and the pain of losing loved ones from happening again.
Every person who was lost in this fire wanted to be here. It wasn't their choice to be taken the way they were.
Don't let it happen again. Please don't.
Now, you saw there Hajimi wearing green. She says that is the color of her father's eyes, and she hopes that everyone will wear green tomorrow, representing her dad, watching over her and so many others. Live in Altadena, Lolita Lopez, NBC4 News.
Lolita, thank you. Now to Pacific Palisades, where the Palisades fire damaged 3 LAUSD campuses, and now the district is sharing an update on rebuilding plans to get all students back into classrooms.
NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi has more on the next steps here and what families need to know.
Marquez Elementary School here is one of the campuses that was impacted by the Palisades fire. It reopened back in September with temporary buildings, and now the district says it has a plan to finish rebuilding all 3 campuses within the next 2 years and with new technology to ensure safety. 3 LAUSD schools in the Palisades and an investment of more than $600 million to rebuild.
Like the Phoenix, we cannot be kept down. We are flying high. 1 year after the devastating fire that took so much from this community, we are still here.
The Palisades fire damaged Marquez Elementary, Palisades Charter Elementary, and Palisades Charter High School. The district now says the goal is to finish construction at all campuses by 2028.
They lost their homes, they lost their schools, they lost their way of life.
District officials also announced today that Pali High students will go back to the Palisades campus in 2 weeks. Since the fire, students have been going to class in Santa Monica at the old Sears building. Palisades Elementary students will stay in Brentwood at a temporary campus there.
We're doing an extremely thorough cleaning of all the existing buildings.
We asked Superintendent Carvalho how the district will ensure that all the buildings will be deemed safe when students go back. He says the soil and water will continue to be tested and that each campus has sensors to monitor the air quality.
I believe we've taken the necessary steps to ensure that not only air quality, soil quality, but also the quality of the water are appropriate and meet and exceed the highest level of thresholds.
A new beginning and a new step forward for a community that has navigated through so much.
The resilience of our workforce, the strength and resilience of our students is strong, and they have overcome the trial that these fires brought upon this community.
When it comes to those sensors that help monitor the air quality, district officials tell me that each campus impacted by the fire has multiple installed, one on each tier of the school. In the Pacific Palisades, Camilla Rambaldi, NBC 4 News.
And the LAFD's new chief is reflecting on the lessons the department learned from the Lockman and the Palisades fires. At today's Fire Commission meeting, Chief Moore said there were significant shortcomings in the department's response, but he said firefighters were not to blame. He said it was a failure of leadership and systems. Chief Moore said the department through the Lockman fire, or they thought the Lockman fire was out 1 week before it turned into the Palisades fire.
At the time fire companies were directed to pick up hose, the department genuinely believed the fire was fully extinguished. That was based on the information, conditions, and procedures in place at that moment.
Chief Moore acknowledged that the after-action report was edited several times, in fact, to make the fire department leaders look better. He says something like that will not happen again under his leadership. Now, we've launched the docuseries Palisades and Eaton Fires, Devastation to Determination. You can watch the second episode tonight at 5:30. If you miss any of these episodes, you can always catch them on our NBCLA app.